This is ChaYah Shalom, and I just wanted to let you know that we have a study group that we are letting people come in. If you would like to study more about some of these processes that we're finding out, some people have mortgages, cars, car loans, electricity, utility bills, and we're finding out some interesting things. That Title 18, Section 8 says that the United States is obligated to pay all debts. So we are using these processes to enforce that. The difficult thing is that when we try to send in the presentments in the manner that they require, because they have so many different offices, hither swarms of offices, they'll say, oh, we don't receive payment in that manner. What? A money order? Because that's exactly what it is, a money order. A check? Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a check. But somehow, if you find out who the indentured trustee is behind those companies, they know what to do with it. So that's what we're learning how to do, is look up who the indentured trustee is with your company that you are trying to get made whole. Anyways, so last week I did get a phone call right when I was rolling out of bed. I was about to go on my walk with my dog, and I was able to actually record the conversation. Mostly it was me just trying to learn how to express what I guess what I thought I was being harmed in the way that my rights were violated, because they weren't giving me full disclosure. You know, if someone doesn't give you full disclosure, how can you have the capacity to actually make any decisions? You don't. Not if they're telling you lies or switching places with you and you don't know which way is up. If somebody put a bag over your head and started beating you around and said, make a decision, and you know, you were unconscious, you didn't know. So how is it any different if we're getting a long sheet of paper and they're saying sun right here, you know that, and you know that? Yeah. Well, okay, so I just thought I would see if we can play the phone call that I just got a few minutes ago. Let's see. And I want you to, if we can hear this, this would be great. You know, if you can't hear it, then, well, you can't hear it, but they're telling me the exact same thing that I've already tried to write letters before and emails before, and they're telling me the exact same thing that I've heard. So it's nothing new. They're trying to skate by on the fact that it was a real loan, that you signed your name and everything is good. We did the right thing. So let's see if we can hear what he said.
Mortgage and home equity account and keep all the resignation documents on the amount loan was originated. It does state that it is a valid loan, and we're not in any position where we're bringing people to.
Yeah, that's not going to be acceptable at all. I'm probably going to have to up the ante here, and we're going to have to do something else. I need to go privately, maybe do arbitration, because I've already asked for auditing of that particular loan. It was a disguised loan. It looks and appears to be a legal contract, but as I was saying, I had violations because I was not given truth in lending, and many violations actually. So we need to, yeah, I've already received those pieces of paper. They don't mean anything because I already know that I'm violated. And I don't necessarily want to do any type of federal lawsuit. I know that I can do arbitration and I can go through. You had said that I could have the address for the as trustee. Maybe I could get that so I can send them some paperwork. What did you say? Yeah, it doesn't mean that. It's on the public side, it's not active, but on the private side it is, because I've already seen that there's information in the background that I've already seen, the numbers. So I can go ahead and find the indentured trustee. It's World Savings. And yeah, World Savings and Wells Fargo.
That is our position. I understand you disagree with that, but I don't have any additional appearances for you. So that information is being easier today.
Right. Yeah, you don't have that information, but I do. So that's why I'm pressing my claim, and I revoke my signature. I revoke my application. So I will find out these particular trustee, the indentured trustee, and go to them. Because you wouldn't know this stuff. I know it behind the scenes, what's going on, but you might not be privy to it. So
okay, well, I appreciate your time, and we can email that to you today.
Thank you. So I don't know if you could hear that. Hey, Tyonna, do you want to talk? You want to
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I've been enjoying you in the chat. So we were just listening to the investigator who had the assignment of looking out for what happened with my short sale, and I was making a claim about the titles, rights, and interest, and that I wanted to revoke my signature and my my application. And so that's the standard thing that you're going to hear often, and they're just going to deny you, and then you're going to just go back into your little fetal position or go in the corner. But the thing is that we're supposed to be belligerent claimants. If we don't press that we have rights, then we don't have any. So we need to know what our rights are, and then we need to do it the right way. And I think that's what a lot of us are lacking, is knowing how to enforce our rights. What do you think, Tyonna?
Absolutely. I'm still in the learning phase. Everything is still new, but I study law every day, all day. So I'm excited.
And you're in real estate too, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a real estate investor.
Okay, that's great. I joined something. It was some type of a thing on Facebook. I can't remember what it's called right off, but it was something about social media. And everyone's saying, hey, I'm a real estate investor. And that's what they want you to say. Hi, I'm a real estate investor. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know that I'm a real estate investor, but I think that's what they get everybody to say.
Technically, if you bought a house before, I mean, technically you invest in real estate. So yep.
I've had 2 houses in my lifetime. But yeah, this last one, I lost it because I went to a church and they somehow convinced me that they could help me to refinance it. The Lord, you know, was leading them to help me, but it didn't happen because I guess their Lord didn't show up or something. I don't know what caused me to lose my home. I was in good standing before I went. So
really?
yeah. And I have even sent them letters to say, hey, can you show me the accountability that you have? And they shined me on. They just ignored everything. So because I had already had in my mindset that we're not supposed to be going into the courts, we're not supposed to be taking the brethren to the court systems for so many years. I had a hard time with thinking that I should do that. But I realize now, after all of my, what is it called? Stockholm syndrome has worn off, where you're supposed to protect your captors. Well, now I'm realizing that they weren't my brethren at all.
Right.
They were lying people. But I did confront them at one time after I got my sociology degree and studied some criminology, and they're like, oh, if we have sinned against you, we're so sorry. I'm like, yeah, and how are you going to make it better? Because, if you catch a thief, you're supposed to demand 7 times back. And they're like, we're not responsible for your decisions. You're an adult, But they used appeal to emotion and appeal to authority. So these are a lot of manipulative operatives that people do to manipulate people. They say, I have this degree, or I've done this and I'm that, and self-promotion. And people are easily fooled by people like that. I think they call them confidence men, when they sound good, but they can't deliver. And so
Right.
it's time that not just women or a certain race or anything like that has been oppressed. I think it's time that when we are sick and tired of being sick and tired, that we start learning and quit easily having others convince us that we're the ones that are wrong, when it's they the ones that are wrong. So the way to find out is to look to the truth, to do some self-examination and go, why is it that I'm so easily lulled to sleep, put to bed, or put on the sidelines? How is it that I'm easily so dismissed that I'm the one that's wrong, when clearly you can see that they're steering you the wrong way? They're wrong, and they're wrong. So I think it's time for all of us, everybody, to start learning, reading, growing up, taking responsibility for ourselves, for our own actions, for our own beliefs, for our own knowledge. It's time for us to grow up, So that's what
I agree.
Yeah, I wanna stress that I'm not any queen bee or any almighty or anything like that. I am, just a vessel like everyone, and we can have anything come work through us that we open the door to. So I don't know everything. I would like to know everything, but I haven't, gotten to the the glorified body yet. I can't walk through walls and, heal everything I touched. Not yet. I want to, but haven't
Not
done it yet.
Right.
A disclaimer there, not yet. But I think we're all called to
We'll get there.
cross over from darkness into light, cross over from ignorance and come into knowledge and wisdom, and to use it, because we're created for good works, that we should walk in those good works. And, like that place that I had gotten stolen from, they didn't believe in works. They said that works were part of the law, and if you do them, that you're not letting God do his part. I'm like, well, what about us? Aren't we supposed to be following after his ways and doing the good works? And we get the strength and the energy from the source. But apparently it's just a totally different ideology that, I don't know, I think they just chop everybody's legs off and say, sit on the sidelines and we'll come and spoon feed you. And if you need anything, we're here for you. We're going to do it for you. But that is very crippling. How can you even stand, let alone walk the race or run the race, if you get your legs chopped off from the get-go and they say, you know what, you should just not teach because you're a woman, you shouldn't teach because you don't have enough education, blah, blah, blah. They put you on the sidelines. And that's how a lot of these people, could be men or women, how they end up, ruling over the masses.
Mhm.
But it's time
Yeah.
that we, rise up and, stop being sick and tired of whining and crying and I can't do this, I can't do that. Yeah, it's true. We might not be able to do it with the knowledge that we have right now, but hopefully we'll be gaining a little bit more knowledge. And as we take another step, and another step, then, hopefully we'll be able to run and then help others too. So it's just part of being in life and growing. It's the same growth cycle as children, babies. They need a parent, they need a teacher, they need somebody to help them
Mhm.
at the beginning. And then after that, they're supposed to be able to stand and, be functioning adults. But sometimes it's not always the case, and that's what happens in a lot of scenarios. If one person ends up
Yeah,
having to do all the work, then the person resents the other one for doing all the work. But then, so is there anything that you would like to share about maybe some of the things that you're learning, maybe about enforcing or learning new things? And if you want, you can get on
So
the
I have
show yourself if you want.
uh,
I'd like to see who I'm
I
talking
would
to. Oh, you don't have to.
it is not the same view. It's not the same view.
That's okay. That's all right. That's
It
okay.
is not so great. But I've been on this journey. I honestly, all of this is new to me as of maybe a year ago. I started hearing about, the secure party process and just started hearing about the straw man probably less than a year ago. And I was just so mind blown. I think once I finally like fully understood what was happening, I even went into like a depression for a few months. Like I couldn't believe all my life I had to fight, and but then, I got over it. So I've sacrificed the last few years of my life just changing the way that I think, changing the way that I speak, changing who I am internally,
Mm-hmm.
as within, so without. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a journey, and I'm so grateful for the path that I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Even right now, I'm sitting here on a Zoom with you. I came across your videos about a week ago, and I'm like, I'm so amazed with this woman. I love what she is doing. But yeah,
I'm just a voice
I
crying out in the
am so
wilderness. Make straight paths for your feet.
I love it. I love it. But I have been so I am in the process now of creating a trust,
Nice.
and that's how far I am. I haven't gotten anywhere else. I haven't taken a chance on trying to get remedy or, discharging my bills or anything, because I
Mm-hmm.
want to know for sure I'm doing everything correctly. But I study, I mean, all day, every day. This is my lifestyle now. So I haven't even been working. It's been a while since I worked because I've been on this journey, and I'm so adamant about, I see the end. I can see the end. I didn't know how I was getting there. I didn't even really know where I was going, but I knew I was getting there. So I'm excited about it. I have learned the administrative process.
Mm-hmm.
Have, from what
I
I'm
believe
understanding or overstanding, is that
I believe that
Mhm.
is having our own court. It's being able to confront somebody who has harmed us, or, giving them the opportunity to make it right. And there is an interesting scripture in the Bible And I'm going to refer to that often because I believe that there's some interesting things that we can learn. In Matthew 18:15, it talks about if someone has sinned against you or trespassed against you, you go to them in private. And if they hear you, then you've gained your brother. You know, you're good. But if they don't hear you, then you take with you a witness or two. And if they still don't hear you and you still want to have a relationship with them, then you take it to the church or to the group of people that would hold people accountable. And I think if I may bring up the church, most of these so-called churches have turned more into businesses, and they kind of just have their schedule, their man-made type of systems. You know, like, here's the sheep, they're coming in, make sure they drop off some of that money over there and then they can go. But I think that they've come up with their systems and just as a way of doing business. And so it kind of isn't really like how I think it's supposed to work. I really think that we're not supposed to do any harm to anyone. And we're supposed to have relationships with people. That's, I think, how our Creator created us, so that we can be able to communicate and have a relationship with one another, and also have a relationship with Him, you know, and to take care of the things that He's given us to take dominion over. But when you got other people trying to take dominion over you and over your stuff, you know, then you're kind of in a war, you know. And so according to these legalese rules that they have made for the corporate world, or this corporatocracy, or even this corporate corporation of the United States, the way that they have their rules, civil rules of civil procedure and the different rules, it's like a war. And I think I put a video in the, let me see if I can share that. This is interesting. Let's see. I don't know if you saw this video that I put in our chat. Let's see if I can play it. And let me take all these people off my screen. Can you see this guy right here? Can you see this screen here?
Yes, I can.
Let's see if we can hear what he has to say.
So then at the stroke of midnight on February 2nd, 2000, the post office announced that they're taking control and filed claim for all water above and below ground and all land above and below ground in the United States. And so the post office then took over the allodial titles of the entire Americas under the United States of America Corporation. Now, the post office controls all 3,800 branches of government, and the United States of America Corporation is the Congress, the Senate, the legislature, the Supreme Court to argue the settlement agreements of the adverb opinions of the Congress, the Senate, the legislature, and any rule of law that the president should make that should be too prejudicial from the president. Then the Supreme Court, 5 of the 9, can overrule the president and send it back and take down the law. That's why the president can't start a war by himself. People, they need Congress and the Senate and the legislature to get together on this thing.
As the title states.
As the title states, yes.
Here's Darcy from making an individual.
Well, I haven't answered your question yet. We're getting there. When you ask me a question.
Oh, that's my internet. Going a little slow. Well, I put this in the Reconnaissance. I'm just going to stop it right here. but maybe you heard a little bit of what he was saying. Now, this is that David Wynn Miller. Maybe you've heard about him, where he changed the syntax or something of the language, something about adverbs and verbs, and I don't know. I don't know that particular language the way he did it. I'm kind of a little bit of one of those grammar Nazis where, you know, if somebody's saying the wrong words, I want to correct them each time. But his is like really different. I mean, it's almost like speaking another language. Like when I spoke Spanish, you know, they have the changed. So thank you for coming in, Brian. Hi. So anyways, what I was saying was, if you heard some of the things that he was talking about, he talked about the post office and he talked about the United States being a corporation. And then they talked about how they made claims over, like, you know, the Washington Memorial. It's that big obelisk over there in Washington, D.C., the Washington Memorial. It's like on sea level. And so they make a claim to say that all this and all that belongs to us. We're just like throwing a big pirate's net over everything and we're making a claim. And I believe that they are doing that through the post office, which, you know, that's how the wars, how I've heard that started. Let me stop the share. But anyways, I did put that video in Reconnaissance Study group in both Telegram and Messenger. So we can all look at that. But it's kind of interesting to note that if that's the case, that the United States Corporation has made a claim over all, a allodial title over all of the land and all the houses and the cars and the everything, even us, then nobody really owns anything. And so, you know, that Klaus Schwab guy who was trying to do this, hey, you're going to be happy when you own nothing, you're going to love it. It's kind of like we don't own anything right now, but we're being taxed for everything. You know, it's not really fun and I'm not loving it. Just saying. But yeah, I think that we do have right of recourse because of the fact that we were not told and we were not given full disclosure. I mean, that's not even truth in lending. Who's the lender? Our name was the lender. You know, and was it paid off? It was paid off the minute we signed, and they took the money and got it from the Federal Treasury Reserve or whatever. But I got a couple people that have been, you know, like following me and kind of guiding me a little bit and saying things that, you know, what we can do is get those CUSIP numbers that are on the original loan. Like putting the brokers, getting a broker and having those negotiable instruments traded. But we want the minor CUSIP to our loan. And, you know, we might need to start doing our banking with the Treasury too. And maybe look into the Treasury Direct. There is a form. I just sent it in. It's called Form 5444. 5444. 5444 form. That's hard to say. But that is what gets our account or bank account with the Treasury. And I just mailed that out last month. I thought maybe someone was going to contact me, but hey, I got to check my emails, you know, and that's the problem. I'm not checking my emails.
This is ChaYah Shalom.
Hi,
She is, well, Brian is trying to get in touch with her to get some information from.
Hi, Carmen. We're hearing you. Anyways, I think Brian's here. And so what I did today in the group, I had to kind of learn how to do Telegram a little bit of that admin stuff to try to break up maybe some different sections. So if maybe some of us are working on mortgage stuff, we can meet there and get to know the people and see what's worked for them. but I really liked, you know, one of my mentors, got a picture of him over there. I painted one, but he was talking to me today and he was saying how we need to get the QSIP number for our loan. And I go, okay, I need to learn how to find up the QSIP numbers. I got to find my loan papers first of all. But you know, it's funny because when you do a call to the bank to ask them for a validation of the debt and ask them to show you what they call that, documentary evidence that they actually gave you money. So if they're going to start getting all that paperwork for you, and then they're going to send it to you, a nice little stack of paperwork. So, you know, maybe you had a fire or a flood or you moved and you lost all your stuff. As soon as you do that phone call, like I did the other day, they're going to go and do a little investigation and try to find all the paperwork. And then you'll have some paperwork and maybe you'll get those numbers. And then we can maybe look up how to look up the QSIP numbers and then get ourselves some brokers and work with the TDA, with the Treasury direct. And I think that we might, you know, be doing business that way instead of doing the warfare, because my mentor, I got a couple of them, but he was saying, no, you don't want to be going to war. You don't want to be going to the federal courts and stuff. And I like that idea because I don't like all that kind of stress and the paperwork, and you have to do it all these certain types of ways too, you know, and I don't want to have to go to school to learn how to write up lawyer paper stuff, you know? So I think that sounds like biblical to me. When someone has sinned against you, you go to them in private, go to the private side, and you talk to them. If they don't listen, you get 2 witnesses. You got your post office stamp, you got your notary, that's your second witness, and then you got yourself, right? And if they still don't listen, well, then you take it to the church. Who would be the church? I don't know. It could be their church, the federal government. It could be those courts, but let's hope it doesn't go that far. But I know that a lot of people are in these different scenarios where they're getting kicked out or, you know, lost their home or this or that. But you know what? I'm kind of enjoying the fact that I'm not as naive as I was before. I mean, maybe even the beginning of this year, I was a little naive when I was at the car dealership signing my name, but I did say beneficiary, but I didn't know to turn it around on the other side and do it, you know, in the banker's signature, which would be like by, you know, my name for the all caps name without recourse, you know, pay to the order of the United States. I didn't know to do that much, but the more we learn or the more we fellowship with one another and teach one another, each one teach one, the more we're going to grow and we're going to feel more confident. We're not going to feel so much like a victim, you know? And I think that that's part of being a family or having relationships with people, that you don't feel alone. You might be alone, but I think this is part of God's plan to help grow us up so that we can be fully functioning and be able to help other people too. That's just my thought. Do you have any thoughts about that, Brian? Or Carmen? Or Tiana?
Hey, can you hear me okay, Cha?
Yeah.
ChaYah?
Yes.
ChaYah.
You can say hiya,
Sorry.
like hiya,
Hey,
and hiya. It just
yeah.
life and yeah.
How are you? I've been jumping in and out all day. I have to work and I'm, you know, like everybody else doing a billion things. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, everything you're saying is right on the mark. You know, when I was talking to you about trying to locate indentured trustees and who they are, that's a real key element to everything about getting yourself out. It is. Like I've been in this for about 5 years or so, so I've come quite a long way with some help from other people, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding that's one of the key things to do is to locate those indentures.
Did you find yours
So anyway, I'm just,
addressing? Did you find your indenture?
no, I located one, I've only found one, and I'm not even sure which account it would even apply to, that person, that indenture, you know? So I'm still, because like I have a mortgage I want to do, and I have other accounts, that I want to either zero out or try to recoup.
Is
And
it
I
like
know
a home
that
equity?
that's,
Is it a ELOC, like an equity line,
no, it's the,
or just the regular?
no, it's just a regular typical 30-year mortgage that I'm, I don't know, I guess 15 years into it, and they're just killing me. It was Wells Fargo originally,
Should we
so,
try to Google Bard it?
Wells
Do you know the name of
can
your,
try.
do you know the name of your, do you know the name of your bank? Was it the first bank?
Mortgage company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the
No,
first?
it's actually, they passed the mortgage they passed it on to a loan servicing company.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
I think there's a
that's what
thing
they
about,
do. Like, that's what they did. See,
I think there's a
yeah,
thing
Wells
about that.
Fargo was part of the,
I think what they do is the bank,
yeah, I'm sorry?
the first agent bank gets the money, and then they turn it over to the servicer just to service your loan so that you can send. But I'm wondering,
Yeah,
don't you need to go to the first agent bank? Do you know who that first bank was?
well, it was Wells Fargo, but it's now I know where the loan is with a servicing business called Select Portfolio Servicing. And see, the original mortgage was caught up in the mortgage crisis in 2007 and 8. And
Let's look up Wells.
so once I started going after Wells Fargo for
Mm-hmm.
this, for what they were doing to me, they passed it off to this servicing business to get themselves out of it, you know? Yeah, because I was really going after them pretty hard. I was I was contacting them every couple of weeks and just really harassing them because they were, what they were doing to me was, really, really nasty.
All right, let me just
So,
read this for a
but
second.
anyway, yeah,
It says that the indentured trustee of
Mhm.
Wells Fargo is Wells Fargo Bank NA. The indentured
yeah,
trustee of Wells
well,
Fargo is Wells Fargo Bank NA, National Association.
yeah,
Trustee is
yeah.
a financial
Well,
institution. Yeah.
mhm.
So, yeah, that is the thing too with my particular
But
loan.
mine's really with,
It started with
mhm.
mine started with World Savings, then it went to Wachovia, then it went to Wells Fargo. So that's what's kind of hard. I could,
Yours is with Wells Fargo now?
well, it ended
You're
with
more,
Wells Fargo
you're more,
because I did a short
no, no,
and
oh no, mine's with Select
let's try that.
Portfolio Servicing. But yeah, if yours is with Wells, try Wells.
Indentured trustee of Select Mortgage Portfolio.
It's called Select Portfolio Servicing.
Oh, Select Portfolio Servicing.
Portfolio Servicing, yeah.
The indentured trustee of Select Portfolio Servicing. So this is Google Bard. And hey, look at there it is. The indentured trustee of Select Portfolio Servicing is U.S. National Association. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I
US
did not.
Bank.
I've
It's
never
US.
used Bard.
Yeah, bard.google.com. So it's that one
Uh-huh.
there. So U.S. Bank, it's U.S. Bank National Association. So let's see.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if they give us a name. What is the name of the indentured trustee of
Yeah. They probably aren't gonna give you that, but maybe I'd be
US
surprised, but that'd be
Bank.
amazing.
National Association. Let's just see if they give us a name. And we need an address too, by the way. U.S. Bank National is a national bank association organized and existing under the laws of the United States of America and is therefore its own indentured trustee. Okay, so what is the address? We'll ask for the address. Okay, give us the address. What is the address of U.S. Bank National Association trustee? Let's see. Yeah, I have been using Google Bard for a little bit and just tells you stuff. Like sometimes it says things.
Yeah,
I'm just a language model, so I can't help you with that. Query unsuccessful. But
right.
maybe we can, get a list from like our friend Elvis. Does anybody else know how to
Yeah.
this stuff?
I'll bet you anything though, the trustee, I'll bet the
Let's try LinkedIn.
indenture is a person. They're just,
I wonder if LinkedIn.com.
Here.
Did you get one?
Yeah, I just put something in Google. This is how I search. I put the link in the chat. It pulled up U.S. Bank indenture trustee.
Oh, okay. Another one that people do is LinkedIn. They advertise it. Oh, I am the trustee, or I'm the this or that, or the CFO. All right, I got to figure out how to. Oh, stop share.
Like George J.
Let me look.
Razis.
Chat. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Oh, wow. Let me see if I can share this screen. Oh, where am I? Okay. Let's see. We want to share the screen. So see how it works well when there's teamwork. We got each other's backs, right? I think it.
yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that
Is shift.
like for this bank, this particular indenture it's definitely a person. It's,
There he
you
is.
know, they hide these people.
That's
Did
George
you find them?
J. Razis, U.S. Bank National Association. So I made a copy of it and I'll send it to you. It's in the chat, by the way. You grab it on the chat. But if you don't know how to do that, I made a copy on my thing. And this is the senior indenture. Hey, look at how fast she did that. So thank you so much, Tyonna. And this is what's
George
special about working with other.
U.S. National Association. Really?
Yeah. Maybe
That's
you
the
can send.
T1.
Maybe you could get your last contract or something, or whatever your bill, and do like Elvis was telling us, to put it on that paper, that
Bond paper.
30-pound
Bond
bond paper,
paper.
and send it to this.
Yeah, linen,
right here.
30-pound linen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was talking about doing a bill of exchange on
That's what
something
that
like
is.
that. Yeah.
That's what that
Mm-hmm.
is. But we'll try to meet up with him again to help us
Wow.
out. But hey, right here, see, when we can come together as a community, we can do things a little bit faster. And then that gives us hope, right?
Yeah. Now, who's the woman that found this? That's
Tyonna
on the
Austin.
chat with us?
Tyonna Austin.
All right, Tyonna. How did you come across that so fast?
So per the Securities Exchange Act, they have to have their indentured trustee on, it has to be noticeable. It has to be public information. So I just Googled. I usually go to sec.gov, but it takes too long for me. So I just type in the name and I put indentured trustee next to it and it pops right up.
There you go.
Under sec.gov.
You mean you just did a general search, like a Google search under the bank's name and just ask for indentured trustee? I've tried to do searches like that. I've never had luck doing that. I've always had to go to the SEC.
Maybe it's a certain phone that
and dig through
what kind of phone do you
documents.
have, Tyonna?
God, it must be.